The magician built a solid wall right in the center of the stage, claiming he could pass through it using nothing but his mind. But nobody bought it. Then his assistant pulled up a curtain, and when it dropped again, the magician was actually standing on the other side. The audience was blown away, but the famous mystery novelist Doyle wasn't convinced. He figured there had to be some trick hidden in the wall, and demanded to inspect it, but they found nothing. The crowd kept pushing for an encore, so he had no choice but to go again. Once the curtain closed, the magician flashed a quick hand signal. His assistant hit the switch, and a small hole opened up in the floor. That's the secret behind the whole trick. Houdini slipped through that hole, and crawled out the other side in this weird contorted position. The applause was even louder than before, and Doyle had to admit, maybe Houdini really did have some kind of gift. The next day, Houdini performed for the king. Now the king had seen it all. Regular tricks weren't gonna impress him, so Houdini called in a general, and had him shoot at a target. The general pulled the trigger, and nailed the bullseye first shot. The assistant took the gun, and loaded more gunpowder. Then Houdini pulled out a bullet, and let everyone inspect it to confirm it was real. Once they were satisfied, the assistant pushed the bullet into the barrel. But when the general raised the gun to aim again, Houdini stepped right in front of the target. He was gonna catch the bullet in his teeth. Even his wife broke into a cold sweat. The king stared at the stage barely breathing, and ordered the general to fire. The general pulled the trigger immediately. But Houdini stood there completely unharmed. He opened his mouth, and spit out a bullet tip. Everyone was stunned. The king couldn't help but jump to his feet cheering. He invited Houdini to perform at the palace. He wanted to see up close how this man pulled it off. The truth is, Houdini had simply attached a magnet to the end of the ramrod, so when he pulled it out the bullet came with it. The following day, Houdini wasn't planning to do the bullet catch. Instead he was going to demonstrate a divine power granted by God. He announced to the crowd that he could make their wishes come true. He had everyone write their wishes on slips of paper, collected them all, then asked the princess to randomly pick one. He declared that whatever was written on that paper, he would make it happen. But when Houdini unfolded the slip, he realized he couldn't read Russian. The whole room burst out laughing, so he walked over to the queen, and asked her to translate. She read it and said bluntly, "This wish is impossible." The note said to make the ancient palace bell ring again. This bell had been silent for centuries. The bell rope had rotted away, and the staircase to the bell tower no longer existed. But Houdini didn't give up. He pulled out a handkerchief, stuffed a white silk scarf into it, and just like that, a rope appeared out of the handkerchief. The crowd erupted in applause again, but that was just the setup. He invited the princess to come up and pull the rope. The moment the princess yanked on the rope, the ancient bell that had been silent for 100 years thundered to life. The royal family was overwhelmed. It was like hearing the voice of their ancestors. They all dropped to their knees in reverence. But of course magic is all illusion. Way back when he was collecting those slips of paper, Houdini had already swapped out the contents. No matter which one got picked, the task was always going to be ringing that bell. And the real reason the bell rang, his partner had already set up in the building across the way, with a suppressed sniper rifle. The exact moment the princess pulled the rope, his partner squeezed the trigger. The bullet struck the bell, and it rang out loud and clear.